For all of you off-road enthusiasts, this is a shoe that I'm excited to share with you today, and it is the Catamount by Brooks. This was a Blue Line project by Brooks that was released in August of 2020. This particular shoe had a life of 6 months, meaning from inception to creation, 6 months, which is usually half the amount of time as any other shoe that any manufacturer would want to make. So with that, if we look at this particular shoe straight out of the box, you can tell that it's a pretty light shoe. There's nothing super bulky about it. I weighed this shoe at 9.91 ounces. Now, that is a 9.5 men's shoe, of course. If it's smaller or larger, it's going to change by just a few fractions of an ounce with that. But let's look at the upper specifically. So when we look at this, we see that it's a nice light mesh upper. If we look at the heel cup, which a lot of people are concerned with, just because once they start putting mileage on it, it can cut into their heels, cut into their ankles, that sort of thing. So with this, it's pretty well shaped. I can't detect anything that's super hard or stiff with it, so I really like that about it. When we look at the laces, some of you know that I'm not a big fan of the flat laces, like a lot of Ultra shoes have. This one, it's actually pretty soft, pretty light. They're not round, but I really can't say that they're flat either. I would say they're more hollow than anything else. There have been some people who tried this shoe that didn't like the tongue. Now, when we look at it, we see that it's not super flat. It's not made of some leathery or plasticky material, so it's actually soft. It's not super thick, so there's some padding to it, but it's nothing that's really going to cut into your foot as far as I'm concerned. If you look deep into the shoe, you're gonna find the small elastic band in there. So I didn't do it with this particular shoe, but you can attach your laces to that so the tongue doesn't flop around all that much. One thing that I really like about the bottom of the shoe is that it's one molded rubber piece. And so that tells me that if anything's gonna rip on them, it's just gonna be from the edges. It's not gonna be from something in the middle part of the sole or anything like that. It does have a ballistic rock shield that is just, it's not made out of carbon or anything like that, but it's just a tougher plastic material that just absorbs some shock if you're on a root, if you're on a rock or something like that. So you're not gonna feel it pointing up into your foot, which is always gonna be a plus for us trail runners. One thing that I need to bring to everyone's attention is some of the flashy, gimmicking marketing that goes along with this shoe, as well as some of its Blue Line counterparts. So this is a shoe that has some DNA flash foam in it, but they say that it is nitrogen infused. Well, let's think about nitrogen as a chemical. It actually makes up 78% of all of the air that we breathe. So, if they're gonna add another, 22% on it, where it's just pure nitrogen, it's an inert gas. Please don't think of it as helium, where it's going to be super light. The shoe definitely won't float away, but the lightness that you feel is just because of the material itself, and I can't say that adding that extra nitrogen infused material is really going to be a big game changer. So just be wary of that when you see some of that stuff in the marketing. Another thing to take note on this particular shoe is the thermogenic polyurethane that they did put on the shoe. The whole point of that is to help keep water out, help keep mud out, so you're not running around with a soggy foot and that sort of thing, which makes kind of sense, but as you can tell, it doesn't go very high up the foot, and it doesn't take much for that lightweight mesh to absorb and have water come through it. So I think it's a good thing to have, but I don't think it's really going to be the waterproof savior that some people really want in a trail shoe. Now, when I tested this outside, I was running on hard packed trail, grass, rocks, roots, what have you, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was light. I thought that there was plenty of energy return with the DNA flash foam that was in there. And again, because of the nitrogen infusion, it did not allow me to float away or anything like that. but I liked it. I thought it was a good shoe compared to some other trail running shoes that I liked. I think it's a good addition to the Blue Line Project line that Brooks has. So I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I don't give a whole lot of 8s, but as far as trail shoes go, I think this is good. I know the Cascadia has been kind of a staple of Brooks line for quite a while. I think this is really gonna give it its run for its money. So, and again, it was released in August of 2020. I really hope this is here to stay. And that wraps it up for the review of the Brooks Catamount. I would definitely take a look at the shoe, check out some of the other Blue Line projects that Brooks has to offer. I know a lot of cool things are going to be coming down the pipeline with those, so make sure you check some of those out. And as well, stick around on my YouTube channel. Please look at some of the other reviews that I have and everything else that we're working on. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.